Hello everyone and welcome back to Destiny. Today we got a brand new PC beta trailer that shows the game off in 4K and with an uncapped frame rate. Pretty epic. I'm really sad that we're not going to be able to play the game at 60 frames on console, but I suppose that is a tired discussion, so let's talk about the positives. And a lot of that includes new content for the beta, including a new Crucible map and brand new gear. Let's jump in and break it all down. So going through the broad strokes of the trailer first, of course you can see that the game will be presented in 4K and will have an uncapped frame rate. And as you can see, the game looks stunning with an uncapped frame rate. It's something that I'm very much looking forward to and is one of the main reasons I'm going to be playing mostly on PC. Aside from that, we can see we have most of the same content in the beta, aside from a new Crucible map, Javelin-4, which looks like it will be in place of Endless Veil for control. The PC beta again begins August 28th for early access, August 29th for general access, and will end on August 31st. Now in this trailer they show us some curious new equipment, and that's what I want to highlight. The first interesting thing is a brand new Haka weapon. From the looks of it, this is either an auto rifle or a pulse. My guess is for a pulse rifle just because of the shape, and it doesn't look like it takes a magazine in the front. Either way, this could be hinting that we're getting access to brand new weapons for the PC beta, and if that does end up being true, it's going to be pretty exciting, because that means we'll have a chance to try out some different weapon archetypes. Anyways, moving on, we see a glimpse at the new Javelin-4 map, and from the skybox in the background, it looks like it takes place on Io. We know that Io does look pretty desolate for the most part, but there is vegetation that is visible, but of course you can't ignore the giant planet of Jupiter floating in the background. Next up we have another new Haka weapon, but this time we don't know if it's a scout or an auto. It's being fired a little erratically, so it's a little hard to pin it down, but the magazine being mounted in the front does suggest auto rifle. Next up we have a pretty jam-packed screenshot of gear here, so let's go through it one by one. First off, we have some pretty epic Titan armor. This is the same Titan armor we saw in the Crucible trailer. It has that very distinctive netting on one of the shoulders, and of course that very Iron Man-esque helmet. Aside from that, the Titan is wielding a Scathe that is perhaps going to be the Dead Orbit version of that weapon. And I expect the vendor versions of these weapons to behave kind of like they do in Destiny 1, where you'll find them with different stats, so it's possible that this Scathe might have a higher rate of fire and a lower impact, something along those lines, maybe some different perks to change things up, since now they have set perks for each weapon. Besides that, we see a Suros rocket launcher in the background, a very familiar body type. It's hard to make out whether or not this also belongs to a faction. The thing that is sort of throwing everything off is this unified shader. It looks like the same exact shader is being used by the Titan and the Warlock and the weapons as well. It sort of has a combination of carbon fiber, this royal blue, a light blue, and then a dark gray, which I think is a really fantastic combination. All of the shaders we've seen so far in the game look pretty phenomenal, and I love being able to match it with the weapons. Moving a little forward, we see the same Warlock gear that we had access to in the beta, this time shaded blue. And then we see another Haka weapon, which definitely from this angle we can see that it is an auto rifle. And so I'm very excited to try out some more Haka weapons. That was something that we didn't get a whole lot of in the console beta. Moving on from that, we see a Warlock wielding a really cool looking sword. He also has on some pretty fantastic looking armor. I love the helmet and the chest piece. Those are definitely some of the coolest pieces I've seen. And it seems perfectly complemented with these sort of scrolls that are on the bond. Pretty cool setup altogether. It is obvious that this is from a New Monarchy set of gear, as you can see the New Monarchy logo on the robes themselves. So that gets me pretty excited at the potential of New Monarchy taking on a more Asian influence in the design. Aside from that, we can see the Titan behind the Warlock is wielding a Suros rocket launcher, and of course the weapon shaders are making it a bit more difficult to figure out whether or not this is from one of the factions, but I bet that it is a New Monarchy rocket launcher. Either way, we can also see the Titan is wearing what a lot of people think is a new version of the Taikonaut helmet, but I think it's just a very unique helmet for one of the factions. It looks like all of the armor sets are much more unique this time around. Aside from that, we can see the Warlock is also wielding the New Monarchy hand cannon, and it does seam to be the same foundry-less weapon that we saw with Better Devils. Then finally we can see the Warlock is doing sort of a Phoenix uppercut with this weapon that does generate solar energy, so we can see that this is a solar sword. If our observations of the new weapon system seem to be true, then we should be able to apply any element we want to that weapon. So it's very possible that because of this, we will not be able to determine the weapon's element by first glance. It might change from weapon to weapon. I think it would be cool to see some of those elemental effects, but I suppose we will have to wait to try these weapons out for ourselves and see what it's all about. And on that topic, I guess the big takeaway from this trailer is, I really hope we get to try out some of this new gear. I would love to finally be able to play around with the sword. But even if it's not, it's crazy to think that only days after this beta ends, the game will be launching on console, so I suppose we really won't have to wait that long. But anyways, let me know in the comments below if I missed any important details. Also, if you're not aware, I did start my big Destiny 2 limited edition giveaway. It's super simple to enter, so I'll leave a link down below so you can learn more about that. If you did enter, make sure you get your confirmation email. That is how you know that you are successfully entered into the giveaway. Besides that, drop a like if you enjoyed this video and subscribe for daily Destiny content. And I will see you all next time.